Welcome back to Extreme Masters. Wow, Intel Extreme Masters. Speaking's easy for me, sorry. It's Sao Paulo here.
It's too extreme. You can't say the word Intel.
It is too damn extreme. But we are going to game number 2 between Lyon and Seven Wars. And Seven Wars, I was talking to their coach beforehand. Like I said before, they're really stage fright right now, but I didn't see it at all.
Yeah, that was an extremely unfair match last game. I mean, they just destroyed them. It was a late game team composition, and they snowballed. That is a very bad sign for Lyon, basically. Lyon, we know they're a good team. They can beat teams like IEM, strong EU challenger teams. They are very, very good. But and Seven Wars, it's worth noting, is very, very hard to research, very, very hard to place how good they actually are, because they haven't done a lot recently. But from what we've seen there, they are serious, serious contenders.
Yeah, I really wonder if we're going to see any different bans or picks coming into this game, because Seven Wars, they seem to all have comfort champions. You know, some at least they get through for Crow. I mean, we saw Xantans on Vladimir. We saw Oriana middle used by Bruiser. We saw Tristana on, or Essa on Tristana, sorry, and Cammy on that Fiddlesticks. It's just kind of like, well, what are we going to see happen this time? And I don't know. I mean, Lyon, they have a chance to come back. They did play in the International Wildcard Qualifier, but actually placed, I believe, was last. I think it said second earlier. That was actually Payne, sorry. But right now, I mean, they need to completely change up what happened. They need to play like a completely different team, and I don't fully know if they can do it, or if it will happen, or if Seven Wars will even let it happen.
Yeah, Seven Wars, maybe they just snowballed really, really early. They had a very strong early jungler, and their top lane pick was very, very solid as well, but you just wonder, because they pulled out some really, really good individual plays. Like, even regardless of how coordinated they were with lane rotations, which were good, they had really good team fights, and stuff like Tristana, Flash Ult, like that decision made in an instant.
Well, we are seeing the pans actually come in here very quickly. Morgana, Yasuo, and Fiddlesticks taken away by Lyon, and Castle and Elise from Nectin taken away by Seven Wars. So very similar bans across the board, but Seven Wars doesn't want to let Fi play Elise, and also we don't want to see, or well, Lyon doesn't want to see Kimmy on Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, it's interesting that Elise is still rated very, very highly as a jungler by both these teams, even though I don't think earlier, and don't quote me on this, I haven't actually researched this, but she wasn't picked or banned earlier?
No, not that best of 3, no. Not the first one with Payne and Isris.
Yeah. So a little bit surprising, because these two teams therefore are clearly valuing different aspects of these champions. It's, do you value an AoE teamfight contributor like Zac or Amumu, or do you value a single target, assassin-y / bruiser-y thing, I don't know what Elise really actually falls under, that can snowball the game really hard.
Assassin-y, bruiser,
she kind of does everything.
AP middle.
She has auto-attack
jungler
damage, she has magic damage, she has percent damage, she has a movement skill, she has literally every single possible thing in her, on her. Pets, even.
Well, right now we do see Ziggs locked in as a first pick for Lyon Gaming, followed up by an Oriana and a Vi picked up for Seven Wars. And then we do see Olaf and Thresh picked up.
Okay, well, Olaf is a very, very strong jungler and top lane at the moment, but situationally, it implies you want a certain kind of composition, implies you want to be diving in really, really hard. And I've actually got to say, I don't like that pickup against what Seven Wars had already locked in. Oriana Vi is spelling wombo combo hard engage. That is saying they may pick Maud. That actually, okay, so Maud, it's very unlikely because mid lane is not available, but potentially would actually be quite a good follow-up to that combo. But if you're picking Olaf, he doesn't peel very well. He dives very well, but that's not necessarily what you want to be doing up against this comp.
Yeah, you can't really peel him at all, and this is like some sort of ground barrier for him, like a wall or whatnot. But we do see Annie and Lucian picked up here. Very strong combo, and it was picked after they saw Thresh, so they knew that Leona wasn't going to be a possibility, and they felt safe going with Annie.
Well, Annie is still probably, if you're gonna just say I'm gonna go with one support for the rest of my life at the moment, I think most teams would say Annie. A lot of people would probably say Thresh, and a lot of people would say Leona, you know, but it's slightly more than a personal preference, because Annie is always strong in any lane, and she can late game flash Tibbers bomb, which is just the best engage, short of like Malphite, but it's bigger than Malphite. It's incredible.
Yeah, and we're going to see if they can use it this time. We saw obviously in the best of 3 just prior, and we saw Payne quick enough to flash out of it, that Flash Tibbers late game coming out of Isris. But we do see Ezreal, we do see Mundo actually picked up, so we're going to see Mundo, I want to say top lane, and Olaf in the jungle.
Okay, now Seven Wars hovering over Rumble. As a counter to Mundo, I'm not sure I'd like that. Shyvana, I would like. Obviously, Blade of the Ruined King Shyvana versus Mundo does very, very, very well. But the question is, of course, which one are you going to end up against? Because technically, Mundo or Olaf could jungle. They're inclined to say Rumble. Okay, I'm just saying right now, Rumble versus Mundo is a matchup I would extremely favor Mundo because he will tank through Rumble's damage early and he will get to be too tanky for him to deal with.
One thing I do like about the Rumble, though, I'll say this, is that you can control an area, you can control a team, basically. Like, for instance, say Olaf overextends, put it in right behind him, it makes it so he's all by himself, or you can use it behind the entire team, let Vi maybe get an engage off, and then you can kind of snowball all of that within it with the Orianna ultimate, pull them all together, and then Annie AoE stun after that. So it's interesting, and I really want to see how it works in lane because they obviously had a nice late game composition last game, like you were saying before. But they still won early, so it didn't even matter what their composition was late game. And I wonder if they can do the same thing here.
Yeah, and that's actually the strange thing here, though, because thinking about the potential for Shyvana pick, that has a lot more potential to snowball a lane to get ahead, which is what happened last time, and I don't see why they should change that strategy around. That does appear to be something they're not doing this time. It may be they're going to seek a 1v2 here. Ezreal Thresh would push very, very slowly. Luciani would push much, much faster, and Rumble does very, very well in a 1v2, but you always have to consider that imbalance inbuilt into the map on the current patch. The damage reduction on towers is just huge.
And also to remind you guys at home, every champion is available here to be played, and Ezreal has a slight, I don't want to even say really bug, but he has a slight change in him, unfortunately. Not
listed.
Yeah, well, yeah, not intentional. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you. Where his Q actually reset his auto attack animation. So every team was notified of this. So Sia will know about that. It could be a detriment. It could be a positive thing, seeing on how they use it. But we're going to get this game underway momentarily here. And looking at both compositions, who do you really favor here early on, and who do you really favor later?
Well, this game, it's a lot more even than it was last time. Seven Wars definitely have a strong early bot lane, and arguably, I think, probably actually inarguably a stronger bot lane early on, just pretty much no matter what situation they end up, because Ezreal has problems in the early game unless he can get, an open field where he suddenly becomes amazing. In this situation, though, with the Rumble that will push back Mundo early on, I gotta say, I don't really favor, I don't really favor that Rumble in terms of actually doing anything to Mundo in the long run.
Oh, this could be dangerous right here. We do have Lyon going for an invade on this top, so they do have everyone there. They do land the hook on his hands. He's going to get caught here, but will he be able to escape as he does get slow? He forced the flash right away, and it looks like he just might do it, but they're going to dive under the turret. They're going to get first blood over to Thyak. The jungle here for Lyon. Fantastic little bit of a trick right there. Able to get that hook on the Xantans, and able to get that first blood.
Now, I hate to be the hype killer here. Yuri, I think, may have forgotten which button his barrier was bound to. He barriered. I couldn't tell you why, other than it being an error, but Seven was really, really smart, going for the counter invade. They know that if they want to go for this, their man is going to be back up. If they want to go for a 5-on-5, they could do it. And at the very least, it's an opportunity to ward, but they're not going to do that.
I know why he did do it, his barrier.
Why?
It's a mind game. Mind game. He's
like,
I can beat you middle without barrier, but we'll see how that goes out a little bit later on. But we're going to have some more.
Gank me.
Yeah, they're going to start off at their blue buff here. Not actually going to go for an invade at all, but we do see a very early pink ward put down in this bush here by Thyak.
Getting that early pink ward down is really, really nice, because obviously having a pink in that brush, it lasts indefinitely. That gives you quite a significant edge if anyone's planning on going for any early invades. Only thing that could really bring that down is if Seven Wars have seen them do this before, if this is a common strategy they run in scrims or whatever, because if you put a pink ward in that brush and it gets found almost immediately, and it's not that big of a detour for a jungler to do, it could potentially go wrong. The other question actually is who bought the pink ward? I didn't notice it.
I believe that was Thyak. Since he got that first blood, he used that little bit of extra money that he did get. Use it on that, and right now Porky, not looking too good right there. He's being chased out by Xantans right there, and we already saw Xantans forced to use his flash to escape earlier. Porky actually running a teleport here, so how do you think that fares as this game goes on?
Teleport allows him to be a huge split pushing threat. If he gets ahead of Mundo, Mundo won't be able to do... if he gets ahead of Rumble, Rumble will not be able to push him out because he'll be too tanky, he'll have too much regen, and he will just grind Rumble down. That obviously means that he can then push him off his tower and utilize his teleport.
Oh no, both junglers go in for it at the exact same time, and Crow He's going for it first here. Actually does get spotted out by that ward. He's actually being chased down here with these undertows and that blue buff. But he does have Orion there to back him up. Bruce there to help him out if he needs to. And Porky's going for the backup as well. But they're getting close in here. 2 on 3. They do get the slow on a Thyak. Porky, unfortunately, is actually going to dodge away from that. We see Yuri coming from the middle lane. And they're all fighting for this red buff here. But no one's able to capitalize on it just yet. We do have Lion. They do have a ward in that bush. They do get it. They don't get it. Crow smites it, takes it away without pretty much any vision right there. And they thwart out Thyak's invasion.
The ward in the brush was huge, but there's actually stunning bot.
And bottom, they see it getting caught right there. He's forced to actually arcane shift away. Can take quite a bit of damage right there, but does have a health pot to kind of help facilitate that right there. But we already see 7 wards. They're being very aggressive here bottom. Being very aggressive. Well, both teams are being very aggressive here on the top side as we saw that invade come out. And overall, 7 wards coming out ahead.
Yeah, and now looking for the gank on the top lane. Vi is there. Mundo is squishy at this stage of the game.
And here we go. The Q going to come in from Crow. He's actually not going to get it. He even flashes for it, but it doesn't hit him. Doesn't get that little bit of an interrupt. And Porky will be able to escape, but he will not have that flash available anymore. And he's already being hurt in lane quite a bit by Xantins, but it's going to make it even harder now. And we're going to have Crow head down from that top side. Will he run into the bush? No! He walks away from the bush. He doesn't see the pink cord. Oh, that is so unfortunate. And they know he's there. Thyak going straight for him. He does have the red buff this time. If he keeps laying these undertows, he could potentially pick up a kill as he's hitting another one here. Crow forced to run away. Gets hit with yet another. And both teams setting their middle lane to help defend against us. They do get the perfect satchel charge coming out of Yuri. Makes it so he can't even go that way. He doesn't have flash. He's going to go down. And that is double buff for Yuri here in the middle lane.
Yeah, potentially also looking at bot lane right now because Essa's getting low.
Oh, he's getting
really
low. No, but Essa was getting low though, so he's forced to back away. Still has that barrier, still has that flash available. And unfortunately for them, not really gonna miss out on too much right there. We do have a nice CS lead already coming in for Sia right there over on Lion's side. And Kimmy is gonna be here all by himself at this turret.
Yeah, Kimmy, he'll be okay. They won't be able to dive him right at this stage, but I'm actually curious as to whether Crow's noticed the pink ward because I haven't seen any pings going down. He did walk through the brush, but no one's going to clear it out.
Well, it is just kind of screwing him over a little bit too because he was spotted right there and that caused his demise, and Yuri was able to pick up the double buff off of that. So it's really unfortunate, but let's see if Yuri can really make it work well for him. He does have a little bit of a CS lead here in middle. And we do see Xantins returning back to lane here with that Ruby Crystal, with a ward or two. Just one ward. And right now, Porky hasn't gone back just yet, so he will have that slight level advantage. But Xantins is just going to try to control top with those double wards. It makes it so he can't be pressured, but he does have that flash up here momentarily.
Yeah, at the moment, this game is going a lot more Lion's way than last game. I mean, obviously, by this point, last game, there must have been about this level of goal difference between the two teams the opposite way around. So you've got to wonder, are Lyon gonna be able to snowball this out? They have a lot of tools to do so. They have very, very good siege if things get ahead. They have arguably a better mid-game AD carry, and they have Mundo split push. If he gets too far ahead, it's just going to be impossible to deal with.
All right, now Crow is going towards his top side. He's not going to be spotted by here. Porky's already low on health. He has the flashing it away. He's going to go down. Mundo doesn't go where he pleases, but I like how Crow actually gave that kill over to Xantins to help get it back, considering he got ganked earlier on at level 1.
But the Return Dragon is smart here. Lion going to be able to get that. That will be a big edge for them because the total gold you're getting from a single kill on Mundo is probably not too far off of what you'd actually expect going the other way. Actually, he gets up.
See, as he's able to chase down, should be able to trade decently well with Esther. There's a Flay comes in, does force him back. The hook lands on Esther. We'll see it go in on this. He does get ignited. He's going to be forced to pop that barrier, and Kimmy's trying to chase him down. He doesn't have much mana, but he does have ignite. He does the flash and the auto attack. Able to pick up the kill, and even Nerzel dies under the turret, picks the kill to Esther, but not before they turn it around, and we see Kimmy pick up 2 kills.
Bloodthirsty supports all around, all the kills going to the supports, but Annie's going to outscale Thresh, which is a sentence I don't often say, but Annie is going to make more use of the gold, and the lane presence and the experience is going to go their way as well because of the bonuses on the kills. That's a nice edge for 7 goals.
Fantastic job by Kim right there, knowing his limits, flashing in for Sia right there, forcing him away, and even Essa did a great job of just kiting Nerzel under that turret, forcing him to commit a little too deep, and fortunately for him, his death. And right now we see those 2 kills, like I said before, for Kimmy. That's 2 assists going over to Essa. And just like that, just as we saw 7 Wars pretty far behind Lion, been able to catch up and close the goal difference.
Yeah, they've just put themselves pretty much back on an even footing. I'd like to note, by the way, the pink ward still stands, so it's clearly paid for itself 1,000 times over by this point. But I still have to favor Lyon's composition just because I'm expecting, and if this turns out to be wrong for some reason, I'm going to look like a complete fool, but I am expecting Mundo will eventually get to a point where Rumble cannot deal with it, in spite of the kills.
I think it depends. If I were to think about it personally, is that what about Xantens if he gets, maybe a Leandries right away? Then some sort of advantage might be mute. I obviously don't know too well, and we're going to find out throughout the rest of this game, but it goes both ways. If Porky gets that spectral cow, any harass that gets done onto him, going to regen it right back up. Not going to be too affected, but in the meantime, we do have back. He's visiting down towards this bottom side. They do have a tri-bush in that pink, or in the pink or in the tri-bush. I'm all over the place today. So he knows he's not spotted just yet, but they need to land that thresh hook to make this happen. And right now, Kimmy, he's level 6. He has his Tibbers available. That's almost there as well, and this could be very, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, he can push forward at the moment without it looking too suspicious because they've got the slight minion push advantage, and that means Thresh can angle for the hook, but you have to be careful, and they don't know where Vi is at the moment.
Well, luckily for them, Vi's actually just still farming up towards that top side, and not gonna be there to stop this. They're actually trying to bait it out right there with that ward coming down, trying to kill off that pink ward, and they're gonna not get it here. And you see 7 wards, they're playing very smart, very hesitant here. They know something is probably up right now, and they know that huge mini wave is pushing against them, so they can just kind of wait, sit back, and get all that free farm. And Porky's still having, it's just based off health. He's doing pretty well, I will say this. He's not winning the one-on-one duels currently, but he's ahead in CS, which is really critical.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Getting the extra magic resist early on is going to mean that Rumble will have a lot of difficulty harassing him out. And Spirit Visage, once he's got that, the cooldown on his ultimate and the fact that his ultimate will heal for more. Once he's at level 11, I just don't see Rumble having the damage to push him out, even if he gets a Leandris. I mean, obviously, if you get fed enough, it's going to happen eventually. There is a break point, but as long as they don't keep getting kills on Porky, I don't see it happening.
All right, now Crow, the man able to help them create a kill on that top side for Xanten onto him. He's going to be looking for a gank on a bottom, but as you see on the minimap, Thyak is there as well. He's not going to be spotted. Both of them won't be spotted coming into this until they do get to that first bush here, at least for 7 War's side. And both junglers, they're looking for blood here, and we do see the hook. Unfortunately, it misses on a Kimmy right there, but you can see Thyak, he's there in the vicinity to make this happen. We still have Crow here over towards this bottom side trying to make something happen. He's been level 7 now, hasn't had any ultimate ganks off just yet, but now he's going to be pushing in here. He's going to be spotted by Ward if he does make his presence known. Actually, no, the ward does disappear, so he would not, well, just like I said that, put another one down, but he's looking for a gank here. He's committing a lot of time, and I'm not sure if I agree with that.
Flash Tibbers is nearly up. That would be a very strong initiate, and Flash for Vi is also up. But yeah, I have to worry about that. They know Olaf isn't there. You actually saw Vi was backing away. They saw Olaf go past the ward in the river, instantly came back again. So they feel they can make this gank happen, but like you say, I'm just not sure they can. Unless they were to go for a dive, but that's incredibly dangerous.
Well, Crow was set on top of the ward right there. I'm pretty sure even 7 wards knew that ward was down, considering we did see Ner'zla use that to kill a pink ward earlier on. But in the meantime, we do see that gank in the top side. Porky, it's very low. He gets taken down by Xanten, and he's trying to turn around the back. He's so low on health, but with that W, he's able to pick up the kill. And a 1-for-1 trade, but Xanten's coming out ahead. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication on Lion's side, but a fantastic job by Xanten to capitalize off of it.
Yeah, and actually overall, that's going to put Rumble's breakpoint that I keep talking about even further away. That means that Olaf is gaining, so Mundo is actually gaining less gold from Rumble than that in that exchange, even if the team itself benefits very slightly extra from the assist goal.
Well, right now, we see some items being built up here. We see the Sork Boots picked up for Xantens. We see Nomad's Medallion done for Kimmy here. What else do you see that kind of something that we should keep our eye on?
Nomad's Medallion and Mobility Boots that he just picked up implies he's now going to start looking for fights. That means Vi can gank much more effectively in conjunction with the Mobility Boots, because you have to respect Flash Tibbers. So it either means there's going to be a greater amount of zoning that Thresh is going to have to be incredibly careful of, or that they'll actually get a gank off.
All right, now we see mid laners still going head-to-head here. In terms of CS across the board, this Crow kind of getting spotted right there. We do have still a lead in the top lane for Porky currently on Mundo. We have Thyak, who has a CS lead in the jungle currently, as well as a level lead. We have 109 to 112 CS here in the middle lane, and bottom lane still in CS favor, however, not as much as it was prior. S has been able to catch up quite a bit here, and even Kimmy has 15 CS behind that, obviously because you're Annie and you want to stack those stuns.
Yes. So Seven was obviously not dominating in nearly the same way that they managed last game. I mean, by this point, it was already getting to the point of game over kind of thing. Now, Thyak is actually potentially going to look for this.
Oh, he's trying to chase down. We see the teleport coming in from Porky here, and right now that means Xantins isn't there to be able to stop this, but they do have Dragon up. They were able to get it last time because of the gank that Crow pulled off towards the top side. And looks like they're going to be able to lock this one down as well here. So second Dragon of the game. I want to be very hesitant here in case they do steal. It does go over to Lyon. However, Xantins was trying to push down that top turret, but doesn't have really any damage done onto it. But Mundo, Porky, he's still sticking around. He's actually not going back, and they're going to steal away a blue buff.
Yeah, they have no reason to be concerned because Orianna's out of mana in addition to everything else.
Oh, we see the hook land on Essa. They're starting to run away here. We see Kimmy get so low on health. He's actually going to flush for the wall. It looks like he might be able to escape here. He's actually dodging Ezra. Right now. He gets the bears on top on Sia. He's still not that healthy as he will drop eventually. But this might give the opportunity for Essa to pick up a kill as he does dodge the hook. He's still tanking up quite a bit of damage. A double kill comes in for Sia right there. And unfortunately for Seven Wars, they just weren't able to be there and stop that.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems if you have a Rumble pick. He doesn't push waves very fast. He doesn't kill towers very fast.
Oh, Yuri might be able to get caught here. The ultimate is down for Crow, though he's still very low in life. But with the Minefield coming down, it does slow Crow down long enough that he's not going to be able to chase him down. Meantime, though, Xantins still trying to get that turret down. It's not going to go down in this wave, I would imagine. He's going to need at least one more, but by the time that happens, Porky will be back to lane, and we'll have the first turret of the game going over the line here in this bottom side of the map.
Yeah, taking gold advantages, taking map pressure advantages. Now they're actually going to start to look towards this mid game. And at this point, I feel like it's worth discussing how these team fights are likely to go. I feel like Seven Wars has the better team fight composition. I feel actually, obviously, that is, however, assuming everyone gets there at the right time. That's a big, big problem for Rumble, as we've discussed. Now is actually the time to keep a really careful eye on whether Porky can deal with Xantins. He gets level 11 and he starts being able to push Rumble out of lane. Spells really big trouble for Seven Wars.
Xantins is sitting on about 1,100 gold to spend. We see Bruce is sitting on 2,500 gold when he does want to go back here, but he's more than happy to just keep farming up here in middle, and you're seeing Porky trying to pressure him out here just like you're saying before. He does pop the ultimate, and we'll be able to force him away, but will he go for the dive here? He doesn't have, obviously, an offensive summoner, but if he gets another cleave, he might be able to chase him down, but he dodges it, and that would be Porky forced away. But Crow, he's coming in from the bottom side of the map. He has the ultimate available. They could be able to pull this one off, but right now, Xantins isn't that healthy, but he will have the damage to back up. The Ignite goes out. Porky won't escape, and that will be another kill going over to Xantins.
Close run stuff there, but good call, essentially, by Seven Wars.
Oh, the Ezreal ulti!
No, denied. Oh well, that's just how it goes sometimes. You know, it's always worth firing the banana up to top lane. It is basically like it's like if you took Soraka's auto attack and then multiplied it by 10 and gave it AP scaling and AD scaling. Okay, so
I just hope Laicus was watching that, who's actually the spectator over in NALCS, and he's proud of me. But right now, Bruce is getting chased down here. Thyak forced to back away, but that turret's not healthy here, so they could potentially take that if they wanted to. But you're seeing Seven Wars respond to it. S is coming to the side, Kimmy's coming in as well, but everyone on the map is actually starting to conjugate towards middle as the hook. Actually not going to last here, but Porky just doesn't care. He's going to continue to push his top lane, and we do see the Timbers come out right there. I don't think it actually stuck anyone here, but they still have the battle line strong. The Aura ultimate comes out and hits 3 people. There's the Rumble ultimate right behind it, and they do have the jump out of Yuri trying to escape. The ult out of Ziggs picks up the kill on the Essa, and Thyak, who has the ultimate running, trying to run away. Xantins gets caught with the hook. He gets played back into Yuri. That's going to be another kill going over, but this time to Nerzel, and Thyak forces the flash out of Crow. Porky popping the ultimate, gets the slow. I'm not sure Crow's going to be able to escape this one. He's going to go down, and Brewster, in the meantime, is being chased away, even forced to pop his barrier. If a cleaver lands, that could be the end of him. It does land! Porky's going to continue to chase out. The Ezreal ulti comes in from the side, and that was an ace, a perfect ace coming out of Lyon Gaming.
And it came off the back of Seven Wars, landing a gorgeous looking Orianna ultimate. They pulled in so many people, but in chasing, they chased too hard, they delved too deep greedily. They were, as a result, caught all of them split terribly apart by both the box and the equalizer, and it just meant they had nowhere to run and got chased down.
And it seems like Lyon has finally been woken up. Maybe Simba's sad about his dad dying. He's able to fight back here because they just look like not even a team in that first game, and now they're coming together. 11-5 in kills, 29.6 thousand gold to 22.7. They're doing a fantastic job. The kills are split really evenly across the team as well, and over on the other side, I mean, we have 2 kills on Kimmy, 3 on Xantins, not the desired spread. But like you said before, that was a great engage coming out of them, but they just didn't have the damage behind it to back it up.
Yeah, and I feel actually a lot of the way this game is running right now is partly because Crow doesn't seem to be nearly as confident on Vi as he was on Elise from what we saw last game. He hasn't really had that much influence. The only ganks he's been able to get are on Mundo when he's been pushed up really, really hard and actually committing to try and get Rumble himself.
And right now we have Booster head up towards that top side. Bag is there already, as well as Crow coming in from the side. And looking for a gank, or maybe looking for a top tower push, because we see Sia, he's pushing Booster out. They know he's there. They're pretty much zoning him at this point. And you can see Kimmy on the minimap as well as us heading up towards this top side. And still, they pretty much are forcing them to rotate here. And the thing is, if you're 7 Wars, you want to be able to farm up as much as possible right now.
Yeah, they're actually going for this dive on top.
Oh, Xantens, he does get the stone of Porky, but he does have his ultimate available right now. He does pop it down. The Ziggs ultimate coming in from the side. It's going to pick up the kill. Yes, it does. Thyak gets one more E up, but here comes Crow. Use ult on the Thyak, but he had his Ragnarok popped, and he's actually not being harassed at all. He does get taken down by Brewster, though. But we do see Kimmy getting caught. Then the Orion ultimate coming out perfectly. It's the ultimate out of Sia, able to pick up the kill. Then Kimmy now S is being caught here as the thresh hook does land on the Brewster. He's in a drop, and they're not done just yet. They're still trying to chase him down. Sia taking up 2 men. He gets the double kill. Now Crow, the last man standing, gets hooked up. That is a double kill for Porky, and another ace coming in for Lyon Gaming.
Saya was playing like a bruiser there. He jumped right into the middle and was just face tanking 2 members at once while he tried to take down Essa. But he's far enough ahead. He can do that. He's got the life steal from the Build Watercolors, and he's got the damage from those repeated huge Triforce procs. He's really strong.
And what is happening in the camp of 7 Wars? They look so strong, so dominating in game number 1, but now they're just falling apart into pieces. 2 back-to-back fights, 2 back-to-back aces against them. They're falling further and further behind. I mean, it's 34.8 thousand, almost 10,000 gold difference here 20 minutes in. They have a good team fight composition, but the thing is, if they don't even get to the point where they can really pull it off, then what's the point of having a good team fight?
Yeah, you can never force a team fight if you're being split pushed to oblivion. And actually, Crow could be in trouble.
Well, he's actually going to get caught here with the hook. We do see the blue buff go over to, I want to say, Mundo. Porky picks that one up right there without even a smite. And Crow did use his. Unfortunately, timed it a little bit wrong. And look at that. Blue buff up. Turn it right into a dragon off the back of that. Perfect transition. And there's going to be that 10,000 gold lead.
10,000 again, but completely reversed situation from last time. This time...
Oh, no, this ultimate! Oh, the Ezreal ultimate gets
combo.
it! Ezreal gets the red buff with the ultimate and parry with Ziggs, and they steal away that red buff. So well coordinated and so well played, and this is what we didn't see out of Lyon last game.
Yeah, they are looking so much better, and 7 Wars, they are actually looking genuinely worse. They're not playing the same way. They're not rotating as smartly, and they're getting caught out. But they're having to do this. They're kind of getting caught in these situations because they're having to contend with a man called Mundo.
And he's a doctor on top of that. You don't want to go up against that. And he just isn't afraid of Essa. And you can see Essa doesn't even want to get near him to be contesting this. But he's going to go into him knowing that Crow is there on the backside. But you're not going to kill a Mundo. Yeah, if you do use the Vi ultimate, that will be down, and he won't really care. He's going to pop the ultimate momentarily. He has a Sunfire cape. The thing is, he pulled 2 people away, and from that, the rest of the team are engaged on the top side. Kimmy gets very low. Neres goes to hit the plane. That gets the team with the box. Mantis isn't going to be able to escape this one. But the Timbers does go down, does some great damage, but it's just not enough CC to keep the rest of Lyon away, and they're going to get a top turret off this. And Mundo, Porky is still pushing this bottom lane.
So you get yourself caught in a lose-lose situation. And I just have to say, how much of this is coming back to picking Rumble and not picking Shyvana, who was completely open and could completely reverse the situation that they're in?
Well, hindsight is always 20/20. I will definitely say that. And Essa, he's fancying his chances against Porky, but Porky has ultimate available, so that's that Sunfire cape. He's still split pushing. He's going for the dive throw to Essa, and Essa just can't do any damage. The Colin is just massaging the Doctor's back, and he does get the kill, but he pulled 3 other people away from 7 Wars. And in the meantime, you're seeing the rest of the team push onto this turret. They're going to get it. Porky will even be able to escape this. It looks like he actually might be able to do it. He has to reach it, but no, he gets shut down. In the meantime, on the top side of the map, Kimmy gets caught by a hook. Nerslow goes down. Xantens solo and he drops as well over to Sia right there. And with that little bit of a play, they pull 4 people away towards that bottom turret. They get the kill onto Essa right there as Porky does fall as well. But a 1-for-1 trade, when the rest of your team picks up 2 more and an inhibitor off of that, you're going to take that trade any day of the week.
That is just the definition of worth. That was dying to take the game pretty much, because they've now got the map pressure in the top lane from the super minions. They already had the map pressure from the Mundo in the bottom lane, and he has teleport. Baron now for Lyon Gaming is so easy to force. They barely have to do anything, and Seven Wars have no choice but to just go in.
I want to say this though, I personally don't think Baron might be a possibility, just for the fact that we've seen so many games, you know, where they can be turned around just from a Baron, and the fact that they have an anti-AoE stun, Orianna, and Rebel behind that, like that's a lot of damage, and magic damage when you can take extra from the Baron. But I think you're still right at the same time, where if Lyon goes in for Baron, they force Seven Wars to commit to a fight, and if they position correctly, they're going to walk all over them again.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even have to do, I mean, they have to start the Baron, but all they have to do is take a little bit of vision control in this upper jungle, using the fact that, you know, they're way, way stronger in a straight-up fight, and then they know if the wombo combo, you know, Seven Wars sacrificed so much in order to pick his coming, and then they just let Mundo continue to pressure bot, because he will, no one can duel him, he will chip down the tower.
And he is pressuring that all by himself. He does have one man there to stop him, Essa, who doesn't have anything completed. He has a Bloodthirster and Berserker Boots. That's about it. It's even point Orianna away, so we're going to see Baron go over for Lyon here. But in the meantime, Porky is just distracting them long enough. And now Seven Wars are going to realize, crap, they got Baron. I'm not sure we can fight them anymore when we couldn't win them anyways. But it's all up to Lyon now. It's their game to lose at this point, and even then, I'm not sure they can.
It would take a Herculean throw at this point. Like, they would be lifting a mountain off their own shoulders, throwing it away, because it's just so hard to lose given the many advantages.
Especially when you have we see the hook then on Brewster. He's going to commit this. He does get the play back into the team. The Zingleton comes in. Brewster's very low on help. He's being forced to run away. He does go down. I'm not sure what that squeal was, but we see Kimmy getting caught as well. And Nerzel is just laying the hooks left and right. And you see Porky the punch. He hits the cleaver. Sia's going to chase him down, but the ultimate comes down. They just arcane shifts out of it, and they don't care about taking this up. Porky is just so damn strong, and Sia picks up a double kill. They're going to pick up the Nexus turret. They're going to get the second one here, and they're going to take this to game number 3. Lyon Gaming showing up in this one finally, after just getting completely dominated in the first game. They are looking damn good.
You can't, it's a bizarre situation, because both of these teams, if you saw only this one game and you said, well, this is a best of 3 series, you'd say, okay, I'm not going to watch the other 2 games. They're going to be stopped. But that was the complete opposite direction. So now you have to wonder, is that Seven Wars choking? Are they suffering from the stage fright that we've heard that they suffer from? Or are they just, was it just a complete coincidence? Or was it just the bad picking strategy? It's really hard to call.
I think only the ones that know that answer are the guys on your screen right now, able to look at this and see what they did right and what they did wrong in the first game, and see a 12-1-4 finish for him. Fantastic job by him. You see 3-0-9 over the hands of Yuri. Even Porky at the top end, 4-4-11. He was leading in the lane in CS, and he just completely dominated and also controlled the pace of the game to the point where Seven Wars had to send not only 1, not only 2, but 3 or 4 people to stop him, and even then, yeah, they would kill him. He would still take 1 down, and the rest of Lyon would just take your top inhibitor.
And you know what? Lyon, that pink ward is still standing. That is how much map control they had this whole game. No one ever had a chance after they'd seen it to clear it out, ever. Not the whole time.
Fantastic, just amazing play of them, and I'm really happy to see that, because you don't want to see a team who has flown down here and has worked so hard and has had so many good results previously to just kind of get knocked out of the wayside. But Seven Wars, I mean, they just kind of shown that they need to really step it up. They had a great first game. They're in an offline environment here for one of the first times for themselves, and they have to be able to come back.
They just needed to regain the momentum they had going into this game. It's so hard though to do that. I mean, if you mentally get shocked completely out of that victory, like how do you come back from it?
Well, we'll find out after this quick break, guys. So when we come back here at the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo, Game 3 between Lyon Gaming and Seven Wars.